And let's talk about a heated rivalry. So Francois Arnaud is calling out the NHL because he feels like that because of the success of heated rivalry, that they are pretty much trying to use the show for clout. Because I guess he feels like hockey ain't really doing what needs to be done. I guess depending on the team. But I know when it comes to the Rangers, and I do work at Madison Square Garden, when it comes to the Rangers, they've been kind of suck. Well, not kind of. They have been sucking this season. So, and I did hear 2 days ago at the home game, they actually won. That's an inside joke with all of us when we're at work. So, with all that being said, Francois, um, before I get to that story, I want to get to this other thing because apparently people are losing their minds because him and Connor's story were spotted yet again hanging out. And this time they were at, I think, Paris Fashion Week. So, oh yeah, it was Paris Fashion Week. So they said Heated Rivalry co-stars Corner. Why do we keep saying his name like that? My name is Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod. Speaking of which, did y'all see the latest pictures and stuff of Henry Cavill? They already started filming Highlander, which I'm excited about. But anyway, let's talk about this Connor, not the other Connor. So Connor's story and Francois Arnaud were photographed together in Paris after Arnaud shut down questions about his love life. Yeah, when he told Andy Cohen, none of your fucking business. So Arnaud, who's 40, and Story, who's 25, were spotted in Paris on Monday looking stylish as they exited a Paris Fashion Week party. Story was all smiles and dark jeans, a white t-shirt, and a brown leather jacket featuring a shearling collar, which he paired with black boots. Arnaud opted for a more formal look, wearing a burgundy coat over a blue sweater with tailored pants and brown boots. The sighting comes after Arnaud appeared on Watch What Happens Live and harshly shut down host Andy Cohen's question about his love life. When Andy Cohen asked Arnaud whether he's single these days, the Schitt's Creek alum boldly replied, "None of your fucking business." Cohen then quipped, "It's not my business, but I try. I've got to try." Well, yeah, because look, and quiet as much as I be windmilling hard on Andy Cohen, the people want to know. People are curious. I mean, Francois identifies as bisexual. I know a lot of y'all out here like to do the whole bi-erasure thing, but he says he's fluid. He likes men, he likes women. And if these two are hunching, that's their business. Get it in. Shit, get it in for all of us. Because quiet as it's kept, who wouldn't want to see Connor's story getting them cheeks clapped? Now, rumors that Story and Arnaud were dating swirled after they were spotted at JFK Airport together earlier this month. The two also attended the Is This Thing On? Wait, Is This Thing On? Premiere in Los Angeles together last month. So they've been hanging out a lot, which caused speculation. Now, this is where this thing comes in because I remember when they did the whole torch, where him and Hudson, Connor and Hudson got to carry the torch during the Olympic Games, right? So with that happening, there were people that were in the comments that were saying like, well, how they got to carry it when they could have just had some gay athletes that could have done it. And I'm sitting there like, makes you think they're not homosexual in real life. Just because they haven't told us I'm a card carrying Rainbow Coalition representing homosexual, that doesn't mean that they don't get down like that in real life. But I know we're so used to straight actors playing gay roles, and I'm not sitting here trying to out anybody, whatever the case is. I'm just trying to show a different side of the situation, playing devil's advocate. So, then they said Arnaud later addressed online harassment he received from some of his fans who want Story to be involved with Hudson Williams, who's 24, who plays Story love interest on Heated Rivalry in real life. Heated Rivalry, well, okay, we don't need to get into the rest of this because you already know like what had happened. So I wanted to get that out of the way at first. That yeah, they were spotted yet again. They've been hanging out, and yeah, it is what it is. So I just don't understand why people getting so caught up out there. If these two are hunching, let them hunch. I just hope that if y'all have a breakup, is amicable if they're dating, because there's nothing worse than being in a relationship with somebody you met on a TV show and y'all 6, 7 seasons later still got to work together and y'all had like a bad breakup and y'all don't like being around each other. We've seen that story happen many a times with a lot of actors, and I don't want y'all to have to be a casualty of that. Now, without further ado, move on to the other thing that I want to bring up, which is Francois calling out the NHL over, using basically the show to sell tickets. So he's accusing the National Hockey League of using the show to sell tickets without addressing homophobia within the sport. The 40-year-old bisexual Canadian who plays New York Admirals captain Scott Hunter on the internationally acclaimed romantic drama Heated Rivalry said he hopes the North American Ice Hockey League does more to support its closeted Libidiqua Plus players. Now, earlier this month, the NHL joined the global mania around Heated Rivalry after its commissioner, Gary Bettman, said he binged the show in a single night. Well, yeah, it's only 6 episodes, so it's not that hard to do. A spokesperson for the league later told Rolling Stone that the show's popularity was clearly driving interest into the sport, adding that what those new fans will find is a warm welcome. Well, I will say this. It's funny who works at Madison Square Garden. The one thing I will say about hockey fans are relatively like family oriented. They come in, they're no BS. They know where they got to go. They know what they got to do. They're really there for the game, the love of it. They can get a little aggressive at times because, hockey is an aggressive sport. But I like the whole family dynamic of the situation. But I do agree, like when it comes to sports or whatever, the one thing that we need to address is the homophobia that's in sports. Like one thing I will say about Madison Square Garden, this is not me being biased because I work for them. Yesterday was a Knicks game where they won. Shout out to them. They played Sacramento and kicked their ass, even though the refs was getting on my nerves, but as they always do. But but my point was that yesterday we had Pride Night for, at the Knicks game. So we were celebrating the LGBTQIA plus community as we should. We were giving out, I think it was giving out like fanny packs, whatever that had like the pride flag and stuff on it. So, you know, one thing I do love about places that I work, which is Madison Square Garden, also City Field, we are very much about celebrating diversity and the LGBTQ plus community. And I think that sports needs to do the same thing. Because I know a lot of people is out here talking about aren't we supposed to be boycotting the NFL and these other things because of the whole Colin Kaepernick thing? Because I know Cardi B is rumored to be performing at the thing with Bad Bunny. Isn't her man also making it to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken? I can't remember. But they were saying, "Well, yeah, you said you wasn't going to perform until they hire Colin Kaepernick back," and I'm just like, um, what I've been hearing is that the NFL have been making strides to be more diverse in in the league and that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't really be paying attention to football like that, but if they are doing that, then they are doing what they got to do to make the changes. I'm sure. I don't know if maybe it counts because it's different with Jay Z and the music aspect and how he's been diversifying that sort of thing, and how they've been open and welcoming of it, and how the NFL hasn't backed down from a lot of the stuff that Trump has been kind of putting at them because you have people who are literally about to make who have made political statements in the past like Green Day and Bad Bunny in their music and their performance are going to be a part of the Super Bowl. Well, Bad Bunny's headlining the Super Bowl. Green Day is going to be performing at the Super Bowl. So, um, seeing that, I guess it's there. But I guess what they want to see is diversity and change within how Black athletes should be able to speak up against things that are going on in politics if they choose fit. But I do agree that when it comes down to it, it needs to be a little more openness when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community having a sense of wanting to belong and a sense of community in sports. Like, why can't they? Because I keep saying this before, we have gay sports bars in New York, and I'm sure there are plenty of gay sports bars all over the United States and abroad. But I'm gonna just stick to America because I'm like, we got gay sports bars. We have gays who love watching, whatever sport tickles their fancy. So we can't sit up here and the only thing gays like to watch is RuPaul's Drag Race, because that's not true. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love watching RuPaul's Drag Race too, but I'm also a big basketball fan. So why would I not want to be able to enjoy all the things? I'm not really big on hockey. Hockey is because I just work for the Garden, so I work the games. And I understand hockey now that I've been working over 2 years. So um I have a much more understanding, but um what they were basically saying, okay, so then he also went on to say, unfortunately, what new fans might also find is the continued prevalence of homophobia within the sport. A survey of U.S. adults shared in 2023 suggests that ice hockey is considered the most anti-LGBTQ plus sport amongst the big four, which would be American football, hockey, basketball, and baseball. Speaking of, yeah, because I remember when I did City Field and we did Pride Night, there was a lot of gay people that was there at the baseball game, got their, little, got their gifts and stuff that we were giving out and everything. So the gays love baseball. They love a man with a big old bat. Now, speaking on the Kelly Clarkson show, Arnaud confronted the disconnect between the NHL's love of heated rivalry and the homophobia still right within the league. So I just hope that the league that's now using the show for tweets and Instagram posts and selling tickets will actually follow through and support open identities for the players. At the time of the reporting, there are currently no out LGBTQ plus male players in the NHL. It is the only major North American male sport league to have never had an out active player. Because we all know, when you look at all the other sports, we've had out football. Well, football players who have come out of the closet. We've had baseball players who have come out of the closet, and we've had basketball players who have come out of the closet. But yeah, with hockey, is it because it's a lot of Russians? Or is a lot of the train skating and all this stuff that has to do with Russia, similar to the show. And so a lot of these boys are sort of hardened on the outside, but on the inside they're a little soft and mushy. And if you've seen any of these guys in person, because let me tell you something, when I've seen them, because there's a part of of the garden where it's when the athletes are coming in, they're coming up the long little driveway or whatever. When I see them and they're tall, these guys are tall. When I see them in their suits and those cheeks the ass be, I'm like, God damn, the bodies be on point with these men. And they be in their tight suits, walking up to where they're going to go to their locker room and all the other stuff. I just be like, I'm surprised none of y'all came out of the closet, but you cannot be surprised if there's some parts, some men that are part of these sports that are in the closet. Because we have had an athlete or some people who are in the closet who are gay, who were former hockey players that have come out and spoke about this. So yeah, he said you just can't put a logo up and think the work is done. It's about creating an environment where people actually feel safe being themselves. Responding to comments from former hockey player pro Sean Avery, who claimed the show might motivate players to come out. Excuse me. McGillis said he wholeheartedly disagreed. He said it may help that people around, it might help the people around players understand a little more if they're dating somebody, hopefully. Nobody's like, oh yeah, this came out and now I'm ready to come out. It's not happening. And that's from Brock McGillis, who was a UHL goaltender. And look, this is where it came in where Connor was basically, or was it Hudson? One of them came out and said that uh, they had gotten a lot of DMs from people in all sports where they were coming out and they would hear the stories of the creator who would tell them they would get emails or whatever, and they would get DMs and all this other stuff and about, from closeted athletes who wanted to share their stories. So they're out there, they exist. It's just we just need to provide a safe space for these athletes to come out and just be themselves. It's like, yeah, we love the shenanigans. We love being entertained with it all, gladiator style. But at the same time, these people just want to be out here and do the thing that they love and also be able to live their life authentically. Because the last thing y'all want is some closet case putting a woman through a whole bunch of stuff and having them get married and have kids and put on this whole performative thing just because they can't be their authentic selves because the sport, society, people who love the sport won't allow their favorite athlete, their favorite little MVP player, their most valuable player, be themselves. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding what Francois had to say about the league? I mean, I'm like, go ahead, call them out. If they out here just using the show just to bring eyes on the game, like you really thinking that you're going to make heated rivalry, you're going to do for you're going to do you're going to hope that heated rivalry will do for hockey what Taylor Swift has done for football in regarding to get a lot more people interested in that sport based on her dating Travis Kelce or now being engaged to Travis Kelce. It's like, nah, you're not going to sit up in here and use us for clout. So Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.